Hello everyone and welcome back to DNQ Football. Today we are talking Turks and Caicos Islands. As you may be able to tell, my favourite footballing nation. And 206 in the FIFA World Rankings at the moment, the Turks and Caicos Islands. But League C, Group A in the Nations League, a chance potentially to progress and get involved in Gold Cup qualifiers. We are joined today by the second highest capped Turks and Caicos Islander, Maarten Fenelus. How are you doing, Marco?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm pretty good.
It's great to have you with us. So, obviously, this conversation is going to revolve around the national team, but we do have to touch on what an incredible record you have in terms of club football, certainly recently across the last few years, playing in the Taiwan Premier League, which is where you join us from now. 5 championships in a row. 3 out of the last 5 seasons, you've got that golden boot. Player of the season 2019, and this record, 134 goals in 98 games. That's a bit of a crazy record, that, Marco.
Just incredible. Just incredible. So your football career, Marco, it kind of started wherever, but then it kind of really kicked off across your college years in the US until about 2014. When you then kind of moved across and over to Taiwan. How did that opportunity come about?
Actually, it's pretty weird story because I never really planned to come to the Asian continent. But I did know a friend from college in the US and we kept in touch. So I remember after university, I got drafted with the New England, and I stayed there for a few months. And things obviously, unfortunately, didn't work out as planned. And I was really down. I was really down to the point where I wanted to quit football. And
really?
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that I had my friend who lived in Taiwan that I knew from college. And, I was talking to her and I said that I need something new. I need to figure out what I want for my future because right now I just want to be done with the game. And she suggested that I took a trip, take a vacation, come to Taiwan. And that's what I did. And when I came here, I practiced with Taiwan Football Club. Mm-hmm. And after the first training, actually, that's when they offered me the contract. And that's actually when I decided to stay here. And they give me the contract. I'm like, okay, this is a new opportunity for me to continue my career. Then I'm just gonna go for it. And that's how it came.
Yes, it's incredible how things like that work out, isn't it? So you've been there for the past sort of 6, 7, 8 years.
6, 7 years.
It must feel like almost a home from home to you now. What do you think kind of has kept you there? Has it been how you feel whilst playing football, and you just have that renewed love for the game that's continued, or have you just fallen in love with it as a country to live? Kind of what's kept you there?
I think it's the whole country in general. It's just a nice place to be with. With very convenient, with many good people. I mean, the language is probably the biggest challenge that I have to go through every day. Because Chinese is not easy at all. But the people here are really good, nice people. They welcome me. Especially, I remember the first few months that I stayed in Tatong. The guys, the players, the Taiwanese players, they welcome me. They help me to settle here. They treat me like a brother. Mm-hmm. And it's just the way the country, the way everything is, how nice it is, how safe it is. How everybody is just so good, and obviously, it's just many options, many things to do here, and I think I kind of fell in love with the country, to be honest.
I think it helps when you score so many goals to sort of help feel settled from a footballing standpoint as well. No, it's really interesting, really interesting.
And Marco, what's it like in terms of like playing style out there, and how is that different from when you play like internationally in the Caribbean? Obviously, I saw today you were training and it was like 31 degrees. Obviously, it's very hot out there at the moment. How does that affect kind of the playing style?
I mean, it's when when I first came to Taiwan, I lived in a different city, which is the capital, Taipei. But now with the team they moved to the new city, which is now Tainan, which is way hotter than Taipei.
Right.
But you know, I'm from the Caribbean, so I'm used to the heat, so I don't really mind it. Actually, I like it even more than Taipei. But it's different. It's different compared to when I play with the national team, because here I play as a striker. You know, I score goals. I just focus on that. But with the national team, you know, I play more as a midfielder. So it's pretty different, and also the environment is different. The tactic, the way of thinking, the mental, you know, the mental of the game. It's all different. But you know, it's at the end of the day, it's still football. I mean, it's the game that I know, so I try to adjust and I try to just do the best that I can when I play ball.
And moving on to the national team, made that debut over 11 years ago now in 2014, when you were, I believe, just 18 years old. What do you remember about that kind of first experience, and how did the call up come about?
I remember it was a World Cup qualifier against Bahamas, and I did not play the first leg because I didn't have my passport to represent the island, and it was in the process of getting that. But I was training with the national team, and I know that that's what I wanted, to just be able to get my passport and be able to play with the team. So when it finally happened, it was just a dream come true. It was just a dream to be able to go to Bahamas and represent the country. And I was really excited. You know, that game, I remember, I think, we lost that game. We definitely lost, but I was just so excited to be on the pitch, to be able to represent the island. Because the island, they give me so much. They contribute so much in my career, and they're part of the reason why I can be the person I am today. You know, I can continue playing my football. So playing for the island, it was always a dream. It was always my way of saying that, you know what, like, this is my way of giving back to everything that, you know, the island, you know, everyone on the island has done for me. So it was just a dream come true. It was just like a very special moment for me, a moment that I will never forget. Even right now, like, I still have those pictures on my phone from that time. So it's a very memorable day for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. And so then after that first cap, you have to wait just a little under 3 years for your next kind of few appearances for the kind of on the international stage, where you played three times as part of Caribbean Cup qualification. Now, just a few things on that. So firstly, the third game as part of that qualification, BVI 2-0 win, the first win you're involved in, and you get your first goal for a nation that doesn't typically win that many football matches. That's got to feel pretty special, right?
It was special, and I also remember that I assisted the first goal in that game also.
Yeah.
And yeah, but when I finally get that first goal for the island, it was just special. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember it was in Aruba, the third game we played against British Virgin Island.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a very special day.
I can imagine so. And then kind of as part of, on another note, as part of those kind of cluster of games, these were the first games that you shared the pitch on the international stage with your brother. Must have been a proud moment for your family, that.
It was just very special. It was proud.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the kind of day that you expect to happen, you know, every day. But when you have that special moment, you just can enjoy it. Because at that time, I did not just have my brother on that page. I also had like many of my best friends. Most of the guys who are on that page are my best friends and guys that I grew up with. You know, I play football on the street. You know, play football in high school with. You know, I play in the academy with. So it was kind of like my whole brother, my whole family was on the pitch with me, and I remember, like, it was just special. You know, we celebrated like, you know, it was like we won the World Cup. We don't really have many at that moment. Also, we didn't really have many games for the island, so it was like, you know, it was pretty special for not just for me, but for the whole squad. Everyone, like, it was just special.
And like, so for those that don't know, sorry, Marco's brother. So you've got Marco, and then it's Mark Donald, sort of sharing the pitch together. Now, did that get confusing for the officials? You've almost got two Mark Fenelus sharing the pitch together. Like, what? How does that work?
All the time. Even on social media, my brother would text me like, "Hey, this person sent you news about your game today. They thought it's you. They sent it to me." And I could tell him, "Yo, you need to change your name on social media." Like, people are confused about it. But yeah, they get confused all the time because our name is they're kind of similar. So, but to me, I think it's okay. It's okay as long as he's my brother and I love him, of course. So
yeah,
it's
that's
okay.
so funny. That's brilliant.
So since those games, since 2014, you've been involved in kind of a handful of different tournaments. World Cup qualifiers in 2018 with the two bonkers 6-2 games against St Kitts, and then CONCACAF Nations League qualification, and then the Nations League itself, where there was some great results in that. We obviously aren't going to run through every game, but is there any moments or games that particularly stand out to you?
Yeah, definitely. I remember the game. I can't remember the year. Not too long ago. Was it 2019 or 2018 when we won 3-2 against
St Maarten?
No, was that St Maarten?
St Vincent and the Grenadines. Yeah.
Vincent. I think to me that was the best moment for the whole island because we were at home. I think we were up 2-0 and then they tied the game and in the last minute we scored the third goal and it was at home. It was just the best day for the whole island because we had so many fans there watching the game and they celebrated with us. And I remember it was such a good day. We were enjoying the locker room, but we were feeling that game. We were feeling that we wanted to win that game to send a message to the island.
Yeah,
and we did that. I think that game is probably the best game that we played for the island. It's the best feeling. It was the best feeling.
Was that the game, Tom, that Billy Forbes scored last minute? It might have been, or was it?
Yeah. Was it Billy who scored the last minute goal? No.
Was it? I think it was Lenford. It might have been Lenford in that one.
Oh, yeah. It might have been Lenford actually. It might have been Lenford.
No, it was a defender. It was. We call him Francois Belbois. Belbois scored the last.
Oh, was it? Either way, it was. Either way, it was a cracker. Yeah. It was. I remember because we were watching that. Because what we quite liked about the Nations League, Marco, is as you just sort of mentioned, you go through periods, or kind of previously, you'd go through periods of you'd have World Cup qualification and maybe you'd have Caribbean Cup qualification, but there wasn't that many games that came around on the international calendar. But with Nations League stuff, with qualification, and then almost the first season of it's great to have so many more games for these teams, and to have for us as kind of overseas fans and just lovers of this kind of football, to have these kind of tournaments is so great. And kind of sort of you've sort of touched on it there actually, but kind of winding the clock back to 2018, that CONCACAF Nations League period, and that 3-2 win that you mentioned. I was kind of looking at some of these games that you'd played in before hopping on this call. Now, the two previous games, you lost 11-0 to Cuba, then 8-0 to Guyana, and then literally just 5 days later, you went and pulled off that incredible 3-2 win. Like, what's the mood like in kind of an international camp to continue to kind of go out there and give it everything in every game, despite how you might have had some challenging losses in like the days gone by? Like, how does that, like, what is that like? Kind of, how do you keep that spirit up, and what's the mindset?
It's our people back home. I mean, it's my friends, my family. It's those boys that I grew up with. Because some of those boys they are on the national team. Those guys they motivate me. They are the reason that I keep doing what I'm doing today. Because I still get in touch with them. They still encourage me. They still look up to me. So whenever I have the chance to go back to the island to represent the island, it's a special moment for me. It's not just about football. It's about going there and enjoy, a few days, a few weeks with those boys. Enjoy the life food that I grew up in. Enjoy like that kind of, you know, atmosphere we had, that friendship, that brotherhood with those guys. And to me, it's every time I have a chance to go back to play for the national team, it's always special. I'm always happy and I'm always motivated because those guys, you know, they look up to me, to people like me and Billy, and they expect us to perform, and that's how we can, you know, transform that energy to them. So when we go back, we have to be, you know, extra motivated. We have to also motivate them because, you know, like they look up to us, and for us to have that responsibility, I think for me and Billy to have that responsibility, it's also special, you know, it's also special. And I think, you know, and those boys, obviously, they, like I told you, man, they are the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, it means a lot to them whenever they watch my games here. And they will wake up 2, 3, 4 in the morning, you know, the time difference to watch my game. So whenever I have the chance to go back home and enjoy that momentum, you know, enjoy that energy with them and show them that, you know, like I'm here, you know, I'm still the same person that you guys grew up with. I'm still, you know, the same guy making fun, joke around, you know, enjoy the moment that we enjoy. Just to them, it's like they are my motivation. You know, they are my motivation. I just want to make them proud.
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah.
And then on that, Marco, as you said, you know, going home, it's always a proud time. How tough was it for you with World Cup qualifiers recently, because you weren't able to travel? There was you and a few others weren't able to play because of COVID restrictions and things like that. What was going through your mind at that time?
I did try my best, and I was pretty sad, to be honest, because I contacted my team and tried to find like a common ground to see if I can go back for the national team. And also the last time I went back was 2019. You know, it's the last time I went back to the country in general, to see my family, see my friends, and also play for the island. And so I really did want to go back, but we had Taiwan have a very, you know, strict, big restriction about the COVID-19. Like if you go out, when you come back, you have to do 14-day quarantine. And at that time also we had, my club had a big preparation for the AFC Cup that we played in last year. So we couldn't find like the right moment for me to go back. So like the best thing I could have done, like I could do, is just to stay here and prepare for the AFC Cup with my club. But yeah, I think it's just the country here, they are very strict about the COVID, you know, the COVID quarantine. And if I did leave the country, when I come back, I would need to do quarantine, which is very complicated, very hard for me. And I'm too far away from home. It's gonna be a very complicated, you know, travel, all this, you know, with the COVID-19, it was pretty hard for me to do that.
Yeah, it makes sense. And as Tom said, you know, you weren't the only one, kind of the sort of standard member of the team that couldn't be a part of it, and it affected international teams across the world. Now, the second iteration of the CONCACAF Nations League, the 22-23 version of the tournament, kicks off in June. Are we expecting Marco Fenelus to be involved?
I just had a meeting with my club. When was it? 2 days ago. I had a meeting with them, and I let them know that I do want to go back because it's been too long. You know, so it's probably it's facing the same case as last year. It's because we have the AFC Cup coming up in the same month.
Really?
So, and
tricky.
Taiwan was supposed to be hosting that's the good news. Taiwan was supposed to be hosting the AFC this year, but because of the quarantine restriction, they cannot host it anymore. Now the AFC is trying to find a country that doesn't require any quarantine to host the tournament. Maybe somewhere in Malaysia or Thailand or Indonesia. Those countries that they don't require any quarantine. So my plan is maybe to go back for the international games and then flight from home directly to wherever, whichever country is hosting the
makes sense.
AFC. But yeah, it's still a very long, communication with my club, trying to find like a common ground.
Yeah.
And see if I can go back. But I already let them aware that I do want to go back because it's been too long, and the country, the city, TCFA, they've already contacted me. I've already spoken to Billy also, and they are waiting for me. So most likely, I'm hoping that I'm able to go back June, first week of June at least to go back.
Well, that's potentially really, really good news. That the TCA have got a good group there. Group A, League C, which means you get 6 games instead of 4. Bonaire, USVI, Saint Maarten. How do you rate your chances?
I think this is a very good group for us. It's to be honest with you, if we have everybody there, if we have all the players there, and all the guys are motivated and really focused, I think we can go through. I think we have a big chance because these are teams that we can beat. We can beat those teams. So I think we are very happy with the draw, with the group we are in, and with the fact that we have 6 games. It's even better, and we have 3 home games, 3 away games. I think it's a big chance for us. We are very happy with the draw. I saw the draw and I'm like, we can go to Group B if we are motivated and have everybody there. If we are really focused and go out there and just perform.
I mean, it's like you say, the 6 teams in that group makes such a big difference. As I said at the start of this, you're one of the highest capped players that there is. I mean, 6 caps for most players, it would put you in the top 10. For international caps, this tournament's so massive for the smaller nations to get some games. And obviously, if you were to win this group, League C Group A, you would then be in the qualification for the Gold Cup. And play against certainly some of the biggest teams in the region.
Yeah.
What would that mean to both you and the island as a whole?
Big, man. It will be a big thing for us. Big thing. It will be just special. Because to us, this is what we want. We've been on the downside of things for so long. I remember since I started playing for the island, we never really had that much opportunities, to play at the big stage, to play against those big teams, to play many games for that matter. And I feel like we are in the process of doing big things. We can do big things, but we have to be motivated. We have to show up and, show the world what we get. Because the thing I've always said is we have many talented players on the island. It's just that we don't have as much as opportunities as the other countries do. And I feel like we are on the right track of having these opportunities, and all we needed was more games. And now we are getting more games, we are playing more games, we are playing in the nation CONCACAF League. So to me, it's like if we are motivated and focused and take the chance that we have, we can do big things. And to be playing against some of the big countries or islands in the Caribbean, it will just be a special moment for us. It will just be special.
I mean, one thing about this kind of rotated team or some of the rotated players for the World Cup qualifiers is we did get to see some of the island-based youngsters, come through, like Christopher Luisi and Callum Park and things like that. I do agree with you. I think with a full-strength squad, players like Herbie Magny, yourself, Billy, able to travel for these games, it will be a very, very competitive group, I'm sure. Ryan, are there any more questions from you?
No, nothing. Marco, get yourself back there for that CONCACAF Nations League. Come on, we need to see the band back together. You, Billy, all the guys. What an opportunity! Honestly, hope you get back out there. And massive good luck for that. And we'll be certainly cheering you on tomorrow, won't we? I know Tom will. Look
I absolutely will.
With all his He'll be sat there live streaming it, Marco, with his shirts on.
I'm desperately hoping for some good results. Well, Marco, thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening after a busy day to come and speak to us. It's been an absolute pleasure. All the best for the remainder of the club season, the AFC Cup, and all the internationals coming up as well. And to everyone who's joined us watching, thank you so much. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more DNQ content, and check us out across the socials as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marco. And to everyone else, we will see you next time.